let's look at the weaknesses then.
I would say
what internal factors do
of
we
all
need
the
to
weakness,
overcome?
of all the strengths.
Well, conferencing.
Well, I think this is Adam. I mean, certainly a weakness is that there's not a direct funding stream attached to the future outreach involved in this grant.
Okay.
It seems like, this is Joe, it seems like weaknesses are also kind of the reverse of our strengths. We're scattered, and this communication mode sometimes can be difficult, and so it kind of fragments the work of the committee.
That's good.
Along with that, I would say time. I would love to be able to spend more time, quality time, to get things in place so that we can get things moving a little bit quicker. So time. Yes.
Yeah. So the time available to work on this. Well, you certainly hit on some good ones. Any others? And by the way, you know, if we don't hit them all now, if you think of a really great strength or weakness or opportunity or threat, after the meeting's over, you can still share that with everybody by email or however you prefer to communicate, and it will be included. But this still is the time when working as a group, we can begin putting these together. Are there more weaknesses than anybody can think of, or if not, we can go on to the opportunities?
The weak is maybe a lack of understanding the Native community.
And more than that, Tanner, to play on that is understanding what their needs are, what services they need.
I want to piggy on that and say to be able to identify. We've identified where the tribes and who those tribes are, but I'm not so sure that we've identified which tribes need what. So who is it that we're, you know, it goes back to that question that Peter asked a long time ago about who's the audience? You know, who is it of all the tribes in the state of California? Who is it that we're approaching? Who is it that we want to communicate with? I think we'll have it open for anyone who wants to apply for services or that kind of thing, but who is it that we're trying to reach out to?
Well, and this is Adam.
Well, we're trying to...
Well, just to add on to that, you know, we don't have, it doesn't seem to me that we have an established contact with every tribal group either. So even though we've made significant inroads, even among our diversity within this group, it still doesn't mean that we have access in terms of a contact or some entry point for every tribal group that we're going to want to outreach to.
That is for me, Adam. Thank you.
Okay.
That also kind of goes along with, you know, phone discussion that Chris and I had, and and I was kind of clarifying, for an ILC, what exactly, what kind of services were they looking at, or if there were particular services an ILC offers, and how would they provide services culturally appropriate. So I had given or provided her with some examples. Maybe that's something that I can email out to everybody also.
And that was really helpful, Tanner. It kind of clarified for me, and I'm wondering if it will for other centers.
Okay.
That was helpful.
Okay. Yes, I think so.
Are we ready to move on to opportunities? Okay. What opportunities do we have here?
Well, given the time and energy that everyone's putting in on this committee, I think the opportunity to reach as many Native people in the state of California and introduce them to our program, to NAILS, is a great opportunity.
Okay.
Opportunity to expand, kind of onto what Val said.
Any others?
And, any type of services that would benefit, Native people or tribal communities, and establishing more open communication, or at least contact, for the tribal groups to access other services that are out there.
We have the opportunity to identify the gaps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We have the opportunity to identify the gaps and then to market those for maybe some future work. Because we don't, as Adam said, we don't have the funding right now, but what if we could identify what some of the needs were, and then we could work on that to translate?
This is a great opportunity. Mm-hmm. I see two more. One for us to
other opportunity,
provide a forum in which all people can come to the table, but particularly Native people can come to the table and be able to work with one another and with agencies to provide services. So that's one, to be able to bring folks to the table, a bigger table, so inclusiveness. And then the young people, this will serve as a model for how to work together. Mm-hmm. For young people to see, and that's across the board, whether it's Native people or, for all people to see how we can be more inclusive, and so young people get that opportunity to see that. So we're modeling behavior that we want all groups, but particularly young people to see, and hopefully emulate.
Right.
Great. Very well thought out.
Are
Others?
any of the other...
Okay, what about the
I was going
threats
to ask
that
if there were
faced
any of the other
I'm sorry, go ahead.
tribal VRs on still. Vaughn, are you still on?
Yes, I am.
And do you have any ideas as far as like some of the strengths, or we're moving on to weaknesses now? I mean, from a tribal VR perspective.
I think it's been pretty much cleared up. I mean, we have resources from in different, it's a diverse panel. It's we all have experience. We have, we represent a lot of different agencies, from folk rehab to state rehabilitation council all the way to DOR, all that stuff. So I'm just listening. If I have anything, I'll let you guys know. I think you guys are doing a great job. Just yeah, you guys are doing. I'm just listening. If I feel, if there's anything missing, I'll put my 2 cents in.
One of the opportunities is is what happened with the ARA grant that
Thank you, Vaughn.
I put in, and now we have an opportunity to maybe build on that in terms of some training for 121, maybe ILs, who knows. It's not a lot of money, but it's something we could take advantage of to get some training for folks to reach out to the community. So that's an opportunity.
Yes, that's great.
Great.
And if I could have just a few minutes at the end.
Yes, I know, Peter, and we were going to give you some time at the end.
Okay. Any others? Okay. All right. Well, why don't we move on to threats then, because we only have about 15 minutes left to go.
Okay.
So why don't we try to get those in, and then we can go and give Peter his time. And what are the threats that we see? And these are, again, the external factors that will be working against us achieving our goals.
I know this is going to sound funny, Dr. Val, but we don't need to get in our own way. We don't need to get in our own way, and that's, if we're not clear about what it is we're doing, and more importantly, how we're going to do it, it gives others opportunity outside of our group to kind of put a thorn in our side, and then here we are going back and forth. So I think that could be a threat. If we don't have our program lined out and everyone be able to know and be able to articulate what that is that we're doing with, as a participant or a group member of NAILS, that becomes a threat, because then we can't do the outreach, effective outreach, or be able to sit at a table with other agencies or entities and say, this is what NAILS does, this is how you contact us, here's our hand, we're reaching out. So if we don't have it together, I see that as a threat.
Good point, Dr. Val.
Okay.
Obviously, finances are a possible threat.
Other
Money
possible
comes
threats.
and then it goes away again, and that can impede our progress.
This is Joe. I think one of the threats from trying to work with ILCs is that we have so much on our plate currently that there may be some resistance to taking on another project or taking in more information or trying to train on something else. And that's it's subtle, but it may happen when we reach out and offer resources to us.
Okay.
I kind of want to pick you on that and say, again, if we don't have it together enough and we're going out there, two things. If we can't walk our talk, so whatever it is that we say we're going to do, we better be able to follow through with it. And the other is, I don't want other service provider agencies, health centers, that kind of thing, to feel threatened by NAILS and what we can do for and how we can participate with other entities. Yeah, I don't know how else to put that.
Okay.